Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite podcast show. Mark and Ken.
What's the crack?
Here on episode 162 of the Shite podcast show.
Yeah.
How are you, Ken?
I'm not too bad. I'm struggling to stay alive, but I'm grand.
I thought you were going to say you're struggling to breathe, and I was like, that's an interesting way to tell everyone that you have COVID. Really wish I didn't French kiss you there yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a mistake now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just came back to training and now it's shut again.
Yeah. Fucking 3 weeks working nights, not able to go to training. And go back for 1 day and now it's gone again.
Everything's gone again. We're now in stage 3, which means stay in your county. Don't leave your county.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we have to do, I guess.
Don't go training and...
Yeah, stop spreading your stupid germs, I guess.
Yeah. No more licking each other.
Yeah, we have to all stop licking each other, which, we probably should have been doing at the start, but now we know, I guess. We only can deal with what we can.
Yeah.
We have, I'd say, a very stereotypical Shy Talk podcast show story line up for today.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, we were starting off talking about Katie Price and her new tattoo.
Yeah, this is like this kind of follows on from a little bit what we were on about last week.
Yeah, cause an argument, so it's a nice way to start off.
Yeah, it's a nice way to start off.
Then we both also had the same story, so at least if we fall out over this, maybe we can bond over a YouTuber might be sent to prison over offering free nudes for Joe Biden votes.
Yeah. So,
at least we know we might agree on something. But then again, last week we were dead set that we were going to agree on it. I had such a fall out over.
We didn't fall out. We just had
a
different opinions.
Yeah, exactly. We had a responsible opposite side of the conversation talk. Yeah, but we were going to be talking also about fuck eyes. I'll explain more. But basically, it's having sex with someone with your eyes.
Yes, that's what you want.
We'll look into it.
We'll look into it.
From that, we're going over how prisoners are being tortured with baby shark. And we also have a woman who has a very embarrassing story after bringing her 1-year-old Labrador for a walk. And this week, we only have one idiot of the week, which is very strange.
Surprise.
We'll be talking about who it is, and surprise, it isn't actually Donald Trump.
This week.
Yeah, so who did we think was more stupider than Donald Trump? Even stupider is a word.
Yeah, and they are a celebrity.
Yeah, they are a celebrity. Well, it isn't going to be Mick down the road. He was fair taking. Let me tell you what Mick was doing.
Well, usually our idiots of the week are just random people.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
So should we kick off anyway and start talking about Katie Price? Is she noteworthy this week of being an idiot of the week? Did we miss a contendant?
I suppose she could fall into. Never even thought of it. She could fall into the category.
All right. So why is Katie Price making it onto our idiots or not our idiots or onto our news stories this week?
Well, the way. I'm sure you've seen people, or you know people, or maybe you've done it yourself. People that have their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever name tattooed.
Yeah, I know a lad who he doesn't have a name, but he has several tattoos, different girls. So they'd be both got I think an alien or something like that, and then in their own they got joining heart. So both of them have half heart. Yeah, he's done gay stuff like that.
Well, the half heart, I wouldn't do the half heart. Matching tattoos. Maybe if it was something that nobody would know, if you were to split up and nobody would know.
Yeah, I'm sure majority of them are ones that he can go about his day and nobody knows that they're matching. I think one might be I think it's a bird. I think it's a blue bird and she got a pink bird. But I think that was about it.
Yeah, that's fine. I have no issue with that. That's fine. But most people would get a name and then fucking regret it.
Yeah.
But Katie Price, of all people, has had like 7,000,000 fucking boyfriends in the last 2 years. Her and her boyfriend have a YouTube channel called The Adventures of Katie and Carol. And this week, they have unveiled their Commitment Ink. Is what they're calling it.
Commitment League, alright.
Yeah. So basically, she got a portrait of him, and he got a portrait of her.
Oh, like, that's so bad. Like, because then he can't be like, oh no, that's not my ex.
And they're actually very, very bad.
Oh, really? They're really bad portraits done.
They're not the worst I've ever seen, but they're bad.
Yeah. So, do they like the tattoos themselves, or were they like after they got done, were they kind of like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, no, like they're 100% into it, like, and
all right, ignorance is bliss, I guess.
Yeah, like she got the words Katie and Carol tattooed as well, and Pricey Woods.
Yeah, like
I think his name is Woods or some shit. I don't know, but like I don't know.
Like I imagine that if they like she wouldn't be like short of money, that she would go to a person that's known for portraits. She'd go to a really nice tattoo. She wouldn't just walk into her local tattoo place without checking and go, oh, I'll get whoever.
Yeah, like I know myself. Like, if I was to ever get a portrait, I know exactly who's going to do that, because I already know a tattoo artist who like lives fairly local that is a tattoo or a portrait specialist. Like,
yeah, you go to
really
someone.
Good.
Yeah, you go to someone that's really, really reputable.
Like, if you want a Japanese sleeve, you don't go to John Joe down the road there that only does old school tattoos. You go to like somebody who specializes in
Japanese tattoo.
Japanese style.
Yeah, no, but do you want to know my most horrendous example of a person getting it's not even a girl's name, it's a footballer's name.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he got in Elvish, so you know Lord of the Rings, elves in Lord of the Rings. So their language, he got that, it was either Fernando Suarez, or I think it was Suarez. He got tattooed in Elvish, like giant letters across his wrist, because he's a Liverpool fan. I think after he got done, a year later, Suarez went to, I don't know where, Spain probably. I don't know. I don't follow football, but like, yeah, he obviously left Liverpool. Like, he wasn't like whatever about getting a person who's going to be known for the rest of their time at the club, like a Steven Gerrard. Or that other guy, like
that other guy.
I don't know. I don't even I can really think of as a Steven Gerrard, but there's probably like Liverpool fans probably could name off 2 or 3 players that've been at the club since they're kids, or they're from Liverpool, and like that. I think it might be Robbie Fowler. I don't know. I don't follow football. I'm sorry, football fans, but it'd be like people who are kind of well known. Like you get Ryan Giggs a tattoo, if you're a Man United fan, you probably wouldn't get a David Beckham tattoo.
Yeah, like I can understand people getting like the football team's crest or something tattooed. Like, I've got band tattoos. I can understand that, but you don't get an individual band member's face or name, or a team player's name, because like they could leave.
Well, yeah, they could leave, but I can. That's okay. A band splitting up. Okay, bands do split up all the time, but for a band member to leave and the band continue, it's rare enough for a footballer to leave, and like them just get another player in. It happens all the time with football players.
Yeah.
Like, so to get such a new player who was only there like maybe 2-3 seasons at Liverpool, to get his name tattooed. Are you fucking stupid or something? Like, you have to question the guy's like sanity at that stage.
Does he listen to the podcast?
Well, I don't know. I remember just speaking. We were around the table, and I didn't know him at the time. I think he was one of the girls at the table's boyfriend at the time when I was there, and we just so happened to be talking about tattoos, and like there's a few lads there with ridiculous tattoos. One had a camel tattooed on his toe. The best tattoo. That
That's brilliant.
yeah. He also had like 2 smiley faces, and he had W tattooed on each of all of his tattoos were just jokes. Or were just jokes. It was like W tattooed on each cheek. He had smiley faces on his knees, and he had camel tattooed on his toe.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, so we're just the conversation got onto tattoos, and he had to show us. He was embarrassed about it at the time. He kind of realized what he'd done was dumb. But yeah, I don't know if I'd ever get a person's name. Whatever about your kids, I think kids are different. It's a lot less rare for you to just openly just hate your kids for the rest of your life. It does happen every now and again. But
even then though, like I think to do something like that, I would do something more like we said, like something matching or something that like is a bit more subtle what you're doing.
Yeah, like whatever about getting a dead person's name, like they're not going to piss you off. You're not going to like someone
Even
that,
then.
No, well,
I don't think I would do it.
Well, I fully understand. Someone said, "Oh, look, I got my nana's name, or I got my granddad's name, or I got like one of my parents died. I got one of their names tattooed, or I got dad on my heart, or I got mom on my wrist, and it's just because it reminds me of their parent." Like, they're not going to find out something that they're going to piss off. Like, they're dead. They're not going to piss off the person to the point where they're going to be like, oh, or just suddenly realize I hate my parents, like, or I hate my grandparents. Like, they're already dead. Jenny's the living that, like, pisses you off over time, not the dead. So, like, I think it's a little bit different when the person's dead, getting a person's tattoo. But wait till they're at a stage where they can't piss you off, like a vegetable or, like, dead.
Vegetable?
Well, you know yourself, like something like you're not your opinion about them won't change, but like if they're alive and their heart's still beating, trust me, they can piss you off quite nicely or very quickly. Like you'd have to be extremely close to that person for a long period of time, and even then, like, well, this has come from the guy who was a comic book artist, a comic book art tattooed on his arm. Like maybe I'm not the one that thinks into the future here.
But like, I don't know why you would get a portrait of your fucking boyfriend or whatever. I don't understand.
No, I generally, like, if anyone was to ask me, like, would you get a portrait tattoo or get a relationship tattoo, as they're known, I'd say no. Like,
to make it worse, Katie Price already had.
It's a giant slut.
She already had 2 ex-boyfriends' names tattooed and covered over. And
yeah,
exactly. She got a portrait of this guy.
Katie Price is a bit weird though. Isn't she like really far right? She like campaign like when Donald Trump was like accusations to grab her by the pussy. She was like she came on the Late Late Show, I think, and she was like, "Oh, I'd rather be grabbed by the pussy than like something else, some kind of weird thing." But she was like, I don't know. This could see. I get mixed up between celebrities, so this mightn't be Katie Price.
It could be somebody completely different.
Yeah.
Like when we were talking about this before we went on air, you were like, "Isn't she already heavily tattooed?" It's like, no.
Are you thinking of Kat Von D? Yeah, it wasn't Kat Von D. It was who was like
Jodie Marsh.
Jodie Marsh. Jodie Marsh could be the one I'm thinking about again. So I should really stop like accusing people of things. As we say always, don't take the Shite Talk Podcast Show as being factual accurate at all ever.
Everything should be taken as alleged.
And jokes.
Banter.
We're just having banter here. But yeah, like I think we're, in terms of this tattoo discussion, we're in full agreement that generally speaking, relationship tattoos are a bad thing. They're a nice way, like I say, symbols are a nice way to, if you are together a long time, which they're not together that long.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to like show like a symbol of a relationship that's unique to both you and the other person. And it doesn't have to be something as blatant as your faces. And
yeah, like I got me and Aiden got a tattoo. Like we didn't get matching tattoos around, but we got tattooed the same day, one after each other, like in the same place by the same guy.
Yeah, with the same needle.
Well, we didn't go that far.
Yeah,
but like that's probably like the closest that I would go to getting matching tattoos. Like, do you want to get a tattoo? Yeah, okay, I'll get one too.
Yeah. I think that's safe enough in terms of like best practice. Yeah, should we go into our next story? I don't have fancy segues to the story.
Mark.
I know. I guess we could talk about if she's willing to do naked pictures. Would she get a tattoo of Joe Biden? But anyway, our next story is about an Instagram or influencer and YouTuber who could be going to jail after she mistakenly broke election law. I think her name is Tara Montagu. Is her name?
I can't pronounce it.
I'm going to say Mongu. Tara Mongu. And she's maybe accidentally broken an election law after she was offering free nudes to everybody who could prove that they voted for Joe Biden in the up-and-coming presidential election of the United States of America.
Are you going to drop the hashtag?
Yeah, I'll drop the hashtag in a second. So yeah, she had lost her blue tick on her verification status on YouTube shortly after offering her fans free nudes for Joe Biden votes on her OnlyFans account under the hashtag Booty for Biden, which is, in fairness, savage. That's pretty good.
That's brilliant.
Booties for Biden. Mongu then after that deleted that tweet after she was offered free nudes for voting advice if she can prove that he'd already voted for Biden. So yeah, the controversy is basically what she was infringing on is a thing called vote buying, which is a federal law around America. Now, different states have different laws around this, and so the punishment mightn't be as strict in some as others. But like, if she was arrested and found guilty of this, she would spend up to a year in prison.
Oh yeah, wasn't somebody in prison for it before? I haven't
heard in the US.
Yeah, there's something similar I think was done before.
Yeah, now it is unclear like if she lost her verification status because of this on YouTube, if this was YouTube taking action against her. But yeah, some people have pointed out to the fact that it is a violation of election law in the United States. Now, yeah, I know the only other example that I have of someone kind of vote buying was in Italy, where a woman who was a model and actress, she embarked on an oral sex tour after offering lads free blowjobs for voting no in a referendum around Italy. At the time that the article was done, she had already given 400 men blowjobs, and then she was heading over to the UK for Italian men who voted no in the referendum. She was going to do up to, I think, 162,000 blowjobs by the time she finished after calculating the votes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now she said when she met the guy, she would decide whether or not she would make them wear a condom.
Okay, the story.
As if he can just tell. He doesn't look like he have AIDS.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's riddled with anything.
Yeah, exactly. Or quite fancy tasting this man's cum in my mouth.
Yeah, 1 down, 10,000 to go.
Yeah, like it's the fact that she already given 400 men blowjobs. How many of those 400 was she was like, yeah, you're grand, I'll suck you off. But anyway, most of the men didn't mind having to wear a condom. I'd imagine pretty much all of them wouldn't mind if they knew that there had been previously 400 or at least 399 men before her, and that she's about to embark on another fucking 62,000 odd or men after that.
No.
It wasn't all fun and games for her. She did get a lot of locked jaw and from obviously over exercising of the mouth.
Missing a few teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Missing a few teeth. But obviously that's a far more extreme example of vote getting. I did hear of another, I think she was could have been Eastern European doing something similar with blowjobs, offering like blowjobs for votes when she ran herself in an election. And it's that's
she ran herself?
Yeah, she was running an election. I didn't didn't verify this story. I didn't do any research into that story, but I'm nearly certain that I heard another story of something similar. So yeah, people, like, I guess all celebrities try to influence the best they can. So you often see like celebrities telling people to go out and vote anyway, or telling them who they're going to vote for in up and coming elections. So I guess this is something similar, but when you're physically offering to pay people, or at least give them a blowjob in order, or give them nudes in terms of like to encourage them to go vote for a certain candidate, that is a bit shady.
Would anything like that influence you?
Well, if someone offered me a free blowjob.
No, like if a celebrity was to say,
cough, no.
If a celebrity said, like, I'm voting this way, or I'm voting that way, or fucking prove you voted for somebody and I'll send you a picture of my tits.
For a free picture of tits, no. For like a really hot celebrity to give me a blowjob, buy her that I'm first in the queue, I'll be like, well, I'll hear you out. If there's been like 399 men before me, I'm like, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. It's like a used car. That's
sticky and smelly.
That's well needed of a service. It's not going to feel great once you get into
it. Moving on.
Sometimes I forget other people can hear this conversation. So to reiterate, in case any family members are listening to my show, no, of course not. I would not accept any of that. Would you?
No.
No, like generally I wouldn't be influenced by celebrity. I would like I take myself as more like an independent thinker. Like I've already made up my mind close to an election. I'll listen to, like, most of the time I'll listen to candidates, see who I best align with in terms of my values and what they're offering, and if I think the person competent enough to do the job, and then I'll vote for that candidate. And I'm not one of these people who are like they always vote for the same party. I've like last several elections I've voted for every time I vote for different parties. Like I'm not a person that's like brand loyal to a party. I'll change my views based on what they're offering or based on what their values are in an election.
Yeah, like I grew up in a political family, so I like properly look into candidates.
Yeah, exactly. Would your parents be kind of like they either vote for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and did never give any other the parties a look in?
Well, like my dad was a politician for 20 years.
Yeah, so you just voted for dad.
He just kind of like does his own thing.
Yeah. So you would just basically vote for your dad then in that
case? I only ever voted for him, twice?
You're a dick.
Yeah, well, like I wasn't old enough to vote for him before that.
Oh, right, fair enough. Okay. I thought you went...
like when I was, 21 and 26.
Yeah, no, once again, you're one who was offered free blowjobs, and there was, I think, at one stage, 162,000 Italians living in the UK who voted no. Like, that's just UK alone there, so that's a lot of blowjobs. That's a lot of no votes. So I don't know if this election was close. I don't know if these men were going to vote no anyway, and then they obviously seen the prospects of a free blowjob. But like 162,000, like she's not going to call around every these houses. Like she's going to have to rent out a room. The hotel or venue is going to have to be okay with her just like having guys queue up, her suck one lad off, bring the next one off, suck him off, bring the next one in. Like,
she definitely cost something.
We don't know what happened to her. All we can do is wish her well. She was, like I said, she was embarking on this tour. She was only 400 deep.
Well, like the chances are.
Yeah, now the fact that she was just like, oh, I'll wing it and see if these guys if they don't look like they have AIDS, then I guess they don't need to go wear a condom.
Oh.
Yeah, but safe sex, everybody, and all that, all those warnings that we should be giving you. Do them.
That we should be. It's not our responsibility.
I'm pretty sure if we were on TV or radio, we'd have to give a website where people can get information about safe sex.
Luckily, we're on an obscure podcast.
Yeah, luckily we have no actual responsibilities.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, like once again, I don't think anyway either of us would be running out voting for candidates based on free tits pics.
Yeah, no.
When you can get like widely for a variety of free pornographic images on the internet, like come on, like would you be that bothered?
Even if you couldn't, would you be that bothered?
I imagine if you're like obviously we grew up at the age of the internet where free porn, but I imagine like if like you haven't ever seen a pair of tits before, or you live in a suppressed country where pornography is censored, it might have more of an influence on you that a woman was offering free nudes of it. That might be more of an incentive. But I imagine if you're like us, like you live in a country where porn is widely available free, that like I can just get this anywhere I want. But yeah, we should move on.
That's how you don't influence people to vote.
Yeah. Unless you're the only way
unless you're in like a suppressed country.
Yeah, unless you're in some country, unless you're in like North Korea or something, then that might work for you. But like
it probably wouldn't, because you'd probably be shot.
You wouldn't be able to vote on anything anyway. The election is just a fucking front.
Yeah, it wouldn't fucking matter.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're going to educate people now. This is going
to end badly.
Vice have recently put out an article about how-to guide to iFuck. So I thought it would be appropriate.
Is this a new feature for the iPhone update?
Yeah, I think it would be appropriate if we brought this information to our listeners. Now, I should say at the start of this, I wasn't going to do this story, and then I was like, oh, I'm kind of need a lot of stories. But then I read the article that your one wrote, and it is hilarious, her terminology and her way she explains stuff. So it's just really, really funny how she goes on. So I'll try to capture some of the essences of the article as I'm going to explain this story. Ken, do you know what iFucking is?
Not a clue.
So iFucking, it's similar enough to stalk a staring person as they walk down the road, but it's slightly different because it involves both recipients having to like engage in non-verbal agreement to this said non-contact contact.
I'm confused already.
So it basically involves, like, let's say a good-looking girl is walking down the road. You glance over at her, she glances back, your eyes kind of meet, and you feel like a bit of a spark going on. That is what she's calling eye-fucking.
So, just eye contact.
Yeah, so she kind of explains that one-sided public dare-downs have been long tool of predators and creeps. Eye-fuck, on the other hand, is different because it needs consent. By both parties. So in order to iFuck, you need the other person to look back. If she doesn't know or he doesn't know that you are giving her the sexy eye, then then it's not going to really work. So you can't do it if her back's turned to you. You can't give her sexy eye or him. Have you ever attempted sexy face or a version of sexy face in order to lure the opposite member sex?
What is sexy eye?
Sexy face, even.
What is sexy face?
Sexy face is where your face comes unimaginably sexier as you stare at a person, luring them in by just your glance. So, like, it could be like blue steel, which is like duck face for newer members. Blue steel was his version of sexy face. So it's his look that like made him unbelievably attractive. And sexy face is the same thing. It's where you have a look that makes you look very, very dreamy and alluring to the opposite sex or same member sex, depending on who you're trying to attract.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say no. I've never attempted that.
I imagine mine would make me look retarded, so I don't attempt it. I imagine that if I tried smouldering, for instance, a smouldering look on my face, that I'd come across either constipated or there's something slightly wrong with me, which there is. There is something slightly wrong with me, but I want that to be like a later thing that people find out about me.
You want that to be a surprise.
Yeah, I want that to be a surprise. So basically, this happened to her. She was on a sidewalk, and a guy on a bike went past. Their eyes met for a brief few seconds. She explained that the encounter was unexpected, but hot as hell, Ken.
Hot as hell. When some lad cycled by on a bike and looked at her.
Yeah, it was unexpected and hot as hell. The moment in which one's son straight up, and this is a term that I've never ever heard, body ripped, fucked out of my eye pupils for about 10 seconds while straddling a road bike. So the term bodiced, ripped, I've never heard of before. She said he bodiced, ripped the fuck out of my pupils for about 10 seconds.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, no, like the sentence doesn't really say, it says, because when it says that the moment in which someone's son, then it says straight up bodiced, ripped. Now I had to go
spell that.
It's BODICE line ripped. I don't have to spell ripped for you, hopefully. The fuck out of my eye pupils. Now, I did, like, obviously, I wanted to make sure I got pronunciation right for the word. And apparently it's a book called The Bodiced Ripper. And so, obviously, that's just a play on the word Bodiced Ripper. So, I'll see if I can get to Google's version of Bodiced Ripper, because I recently searched it, so it should pop it up into it. It was the last thing I searched. So this is it now. Hopefully people can hear it.
Bodice Ripper.
That's Bodice Ripper is how you pronounce that word. But she said it.
I got the definition of it here.
Yeah.
It's an actual thing. It says a sexually explicit romantic novel or film with a historical set.
Yeah, so basically, like her term, the moment that someone's son straight up bodice ripped the fuck out my pupils for about 10 seconds while straddling a road bike. She said,
what was the historical setting?
Well, obviously a sidewalk. She might be in running. She said she almost was ready to risk it all. She then goes
risk all what?
Risk it all. So obviously with COVID-19, the pandemic, the only way to really, like, obviously go up to someone, chat to them if you're in a outdoor setting or a public setting is risky enough, because obviously COVID-19, that in order to be flirtatious in a kind of pandemic world, we have to do it from a distance and without speaking. Then obviously your body language comes a major part of trying to attract the opposite sex. So she explains that being able to, like, attract someone with a sexy face is very important, and also very, very attractive, well, to her anyway, because like she said, she thought it was straight up hot as hell. And yeah, she described the counter as someone fucking the shit out of her eye pupils for about 10 seconds. So she was like super into it.
So basically, the gist of this is that some guy cycling by on a bike looked at her,
yeah,
and she almost raped him.
Yes, when you put it like that, it doesn't seem as a romantic of a thing happening to her. She basically, some guy gave her the glance. Now, on the other hand, lads are going to be in a very awkward situation here, because there's going to be a big difference between a person who stares at a girl that they find sexually attracted, and the girl thinks he's just creeping on her, and in reality, he's trying to, like, partake in this sexy eye or sexy face, or
and he's just looking retarded.
Yeah, he's just kind of retardedly looking at me. I wish he would stop.
He's fucking drooling.
But now, she did have a how-to guide on how to sexy face or eye fuck someone. So first of all, she gave examples of people. You have to embrace the kind of the spirit of these celebrities. So imagine yourself as Rihanna, Ken.
Okay.
Okay, you imagine yourself as Rihanna. Get into
Yeah.
the Rihanna aura. Okay, and ask yourself, if Rihanna were walking across the street and this person I have no idea who it is, it's A, the S is a dollar sign, AP, Rocky, was I on the other side.
Who the fuck is that?
No idea. Would she be nervous? let's just imagine an attractive person. Would she be nervous about firing 500 daggers? Tara Banks smiles that set his dick on fire. Yeah, she said she would blaze those hazel stunners into his soul, simultaneously making and ruining his day all at once. So yeah, so basically,
I don't understand what she's trying to fucking say.
She's basically saying that you have to look at a person. You have to embrace charisma and sex appeal of these really stunning looking women. And if you're a man, you have to do it as a man. So you have to embrace the confidence of this person. You have to look at them constantly with interest, like you want to set their dicks alight or or make them moist, I guess. If you're trying to attract the opposite sex. But yeah, you have to look at them arousingly as if you look like a delicious toffee pie. And
Now, there's just one. I'm going to make one comment on this.
yes.
If she's going to set his dick on fire, she's got some sort of an STI and he doesn't want it.
Yeah, that's very much true. If she can set his dick on fire with a light, she's obviously like streaming with
And if she's going to do it just by looking at him, it's a fairly potent STI.
Yeah, exactly. She basically said all you actually have to do in order to do it is sustain eye contact with a person for about roughly around 3 seconds. Maybe a tiny eyebrow raise, a slight grin. She says a twinkle in your eyes, and that's basically all you have to do. It's important to note that you have to make sure after the 3 seconds that it's the recipient, and if it's not, maybe jog on.
So basically, sexy face is the people's eyebrow.
Yeah, if you imagine 90s rock with the people's eyebrow.
That's sexy face.
For people who don't know what the 90s rock, people's eyebrow, YouTube it, get what that is. Try to do that, but like if you can't already raise your eyebrow and you try raise eyebrow, you'll look retarded. Like you will look. I know you can't say retarded really anymore, but you will look retarded.
It's okay. We're not under any of those broadcasting standards.
Oh yeah, I was more worried about offending people than else.
What makes this week different?
That is very, very true. So like that's a very informative topic of how I think now we all know we feel like we're more ability to use sexy face. I endure our listeners and Ken to go around their local neighborhoods giving sexy face. Maybe you do it to your wife so you don't get in trouble.
Yes, no, I know 100%. She walks in the door.
Yeah, if Aileen walks in the door, try give her sexy face. See if it works.
She's gonna think I just had a fucking stroke.
Ken, are you alright? She's getting like really concerned. Yeah, I could imagine that backfiring actually on you. I wonder if the prisoners in our next story started to enjoy Baby Shark, would the punishment of constantly playing Baby Shark actually backfire on them, Ken?
I doubt it.
So, do you want to explain the story?
So there's a jail in it's Oklahoma County Jail. Officers had chained prisoners to walls and forced them to listen to Baby Shark on a loop at loud volumes for periods of up to 2 hours. And what
are these people in prison for? Or does it say?
It doesn't really say. It just said that 2 prison officers got fired. They're both 21 years old. The 2 prison officers and their supervisor got fired. The prison officer is 21, supervisor is 50 years old, and they've been charged with counts of cruelty to prisoners and conspiracy. Yeah, basically just blaring Baby Shark at these poor fuckers.
like Baby Shark on loop would wreck anybody's head. Like, did they do that as like a social experiment or just to fuck with them?
They said that they felt that disciplinary action within the detention centre wasn't working in correcting the behaviour of inmates, so they wanted to teach them a lesson.
Did it work? Did they find that the prisoners' behaviour improved after this, or what was the outcome of it?
Well, the outcome was that they got fired.
Yeah, but before, I thought they went into it. I thought, well, they slightly worked on the prisoners, or they were like, no.
It just says like they done it to four prisoners. They forced them to stand in an attorney visitation room with their hands cuffed behind them and chained to a wall, and basically just blared Baby Shark at them. Wouldn't
it be done for like torture? That's like on borders of what they do in order to get people to talk when they're torture techniques. If you ever watch, like those special forces thing where they get like civilians in, anyone gets to the last end of those special forces things, there's always this part where they're blindfolded and put up against a wall in like half squatted positions listening to like heavy metal music.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, see, like, that's the thing, dude. I don't get you. Like, if you actually like metal music, be like, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor. You're like, yeah. I mean, I hate this. Metal music. But, like, obviously everyone hates Baby Shark unless you're a child.
Yeah, like, it goes on to say, like, the two 21-year-old prison officers were doing this for how many months? We're doing it for 3 months. And it was brought up by an attorney to their supervisor. But he took no immediate action. And instead, the behaviour and how much they mistreated inmates actually got worse.
Yeah. Oh, so it actually got worse, the treatment of... Yeah, so they actually increased it. So
that's why it ended up then that they all just got fired.
All right. Like, would there be any shows that you would like? What's that kids program? They're like Silly Daddy.
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig. Imagine like something like that. I imagine like some children's program like Peppa Pig or Baby Shark. Like in terms of being able to torture a person, like they are ideal. Like things that just to play that on a loop.
I actually like Peppa Pig.
Do you? My sister's boyfriend, his kid even, has a slightly British accent because of listening to too much Peppa the Pig. From a very early age, has developed a slight like fucking British accents mixed with a Midlands accent. So it's kind of a cross between like posh Peppa the Pig and like Midlands Ireland.
Can you do an impression?
No, but just imagine Ken trying to do a British accent, and like our listeners are fairly on the way. But yeah, it's quite funny. That's mad that they thought they'd either get away with it. That like
yeah, like the prisoners wrote and gave the supervisor 20 handwritten complaints about the behaviour, and it just made it worse.
Oh, so they just kept doing it. They're like, oh, this is obviously hitting a nerve. Let's fucking double down.
Like imagine going home after getting fired, and you have to explain to your family and your friends, oh yeah, I got fired because
for torturing prisoners. Yeah,
Baby Shark and some lad.
Yeah, no, like it's fucking mad. It's like I got fired for like torturing some people.
Yeah.
It's probably the only job where you're like, I got fired for torturing people. Like, oh, I guess that is possible in your line of work. Yeah, so that's fucking weird. What also is weird is our next story, Ken. It follows a dog walker from, I think this is a place where we've got a story last week from as well. It's coming nearly as popular as Russia for our stories off. Maybe it'll be our next town or country of the month. It's from England's Westfordshire. I'm nearly certain that we had a story from there recently enough, and it was of a dog walker who was less bit red-faced after chasing her dog, which is a Labrador, around the park for 15 minutes with a dildo in its mouth.
Where did he get it from?
It was just found that like she was in a field. Obviously, it must be a popular enough place to bring her dog for a walk. and her Labrador is about only 1 year old, and obviously it was off the lead and went running. She thought it found a stick in its mouth. Dog was really excited about what it found. His name is Charlie, and basically wanted to show its owner its new play toy. And when she seen what it was, after I came up, so the 33-year-old spent 15 minutes chasing Charlie around this field trying to retrieve the sex toy out of its mouth. Now, she didn't make life easy for her, because anytime she wrestled the dick out from his mouth, she would kick it away. Charlie would think this is his new favourite game, chase after the dildo, and like once again start chewing on it.
Yeah, obviously, like, if you want your dog to not have something, you don't throw it away.
Yeah, no, exactly. She says this with me. I wonder if she was actually playing with the dog. She like, oh, there's no one around. Look, he's getting enjoyment out of her dick, and she just kept kicking it, letting the dog chasing her. Oh no, I have to get the dick off him again. Thinking it's actually hilarious.
And then other people arrive and she's like, "Oh my god, he just found this!" And
yeah, she found it. I can't find it. It's so embarrassing. Well, what happened was another dog got in on the action as well and started wrestling Charlie for the sex toy off Charlie. So. In like the article didn't go into like what the encounter between the two dogs, what the owner of the other dog was like when she seen that both of them are fighting over a rubber dick. Like how she was able to explain to the other person like how the dog came across this like dildo that wasn't just a chew toy that bought it like ironically. So Carla Robinson was the person's name in the story. All it basically ended with, so she managed to distract Charlie after getting the sex toy out from his mouth finally, and then she hid it under a bush, and Charlie just forgot about it and just went on the rest of the walk.
Some other poor dog probably found that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so there's someone like you don't know. Like, it more than likely was a guy just taking lads taking a mick and like got a person a dildo or want to play a prank with a dildo. I very much like think that like a poor lonely woman went up to a field that like to use her toy and then accidentally forgot it there.
Well, you never know.
You never know, I guess. Stranger things probably have happened. But I'm going to take an educated guess on this and say it's probably more than likely was the fact that I don't know how. Actually, I have absolutely no idea how a sex toy gets into a dog's mouth in a field.
Yeah, like I'd like to know, is the field near, like, what's, is it just like a field in the middle of nowhere? Is it near houses? Is it near I imagine
that she's bringing her dog for a walk. It's close enough to an area where, especially if another dog came along, it's close enough to where people either bring their pets for walks, or the fact that there are sex toys but you leave them behind. People might pass through the field in order to get to and from somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine. It doesn't really go into a whole lot of detail.
So I wonder, like, were people just like, illegally dumping their rubbish? Or like, oh, I got a new one, so I can throw this in the bin. So it's in a plastic bag.
Do women really just throw away because they get a new one, or just do they let a collection build up?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like I say, we need more girl analysts on the show. Maybe our next person in our next story might come on as a girl analyst. She's dumb enough to do what she did, so maybe she's dumb enough to come on the Shite podcast show.
Go on.
It's time for Idiots Week. This is the time of the show where it's stories for idiots, created by idiots, and contains people doing dumb things. Except this week only contains one person doing one dumb thing, because we only have one idiot of the week. Shock horror. And do you know who it is, Ken?
Go on, who is it?
Lana Del Rey is our idiot of the week. In a week of very surprising revelations of Donald Trump taking off his mask while he still has COVID-19 and going back into the White House. Okay, we can't expect Donald Trump to do dumb things. He probably does deserve to be on this Idiots of the Week. There was another story of, like, I think nutritionists in Ireland saying that kids only should have half a biscuit a week or 3 crisps. They also deserve...
Half a biscuit a week?
Yeah, they also deserve to be Idiots of the Week. But this week, we're focusing on Lana Del Rey. Why are we only focusing on Lana Del Rey? We're focusing on Lana Del Rey because she decided to make her own face mask, except she made it out of mesh.
As you do.
For people who don't know what mesh is, that's that like silver fencing stuff that you might, if you're like in school, sometimes it's made to use like statues, like out with fucking that fucking.
Did you make it out of like mesh wire or like mesh cloth?
Mesh wire. It was steel, no, not steel, but it was metal mesh wire that was obviously silver and shiny, and that she fashioned to look like almost like jewelry around her face instead of like PPE gear, which is meant to be. Obviously, if your PPE gear is obviously has holes in it, it's not going to be very effective for people who didn't know. You think that might be obvious, but Lana Del Rey was at a reading and signing for fans of her new poetry book that's coming out, and she decided to create her own face mask, which she did using obviously mesh.
That's not a very smart thing to be doing. Like, how did she? Surely somebody would have fucking advised her that that's retarded.
Yeah. No, like you think of everybody in the like before she went on stage, someone said, "Would you ever just put on a actual face mask?" You know,
I just googled it there now, and not only did she like have a mesh mask on, but there's actually photos here of her pulling down the mask to fucking read out of the book.
Yeah. Yeah, like I understand if she go up on the stage or she's in a reading and she's 2 meters away from everybody else, then you don't need to be wearing a face mask. Like that's, they say, the length, the distance you have to be. So if she's like 2 or 3 meters away from everybody else, she's going up to read her book. Obviously, she doesn't want her voice muffled of some sort. You can take off your mask once you're 2 meters away, or if you want to be safe, you could do 3 meters away. Like you have microphones, you have amplifiers there. Your voice will be carried. You can be a certain distance away. So I wouldn't mind if she wore an actual face mask, go up, everyone's 2-3 meters away, and she starts talking, reading out of her book. No problem with that. Like that's perfectly fine. It's when it's the fact that she's doing a signing with her mesh mask on and she's greeting fans, like clearly not wearing PPE gear.
There's a doctor in America that's actually coming out to defend her, saying that people shouldn't be mask shaming.
Well, I understand people shouldn't be like saying like going up to a supermarket and start criticizing someone for not wearing a mask. You're creating more of a kind of a problem because they're coming into very close contact, shouting at each other. Even with a mask, that's not effective or like a very good idea. It's like, so I can understand people shouldn't be mask shaming, but like I think people can have a go at a person on the internet for like not wearing a proper mask or pointing out that she's an idiot for not wearing a proper mask.
Like he actually said, I can draw a mask on my face with a marker and it would be the same efficiency as a mesh mask, but that people shouldn't be mask shaming her. Yeah, like I've no idea like how a doctor could come out and say like, oh yeah, that's fine, there's no problem with that. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. It's like yeah, but like obviously she I guess is a bit of publicity for her. Like we're talking about it now. I'm pretty sure someone wrote this article so we could find it. Other people are writing similar articles about this. Her name's getting into the media, so it could be a bit of a publicity stunt for her as well. Like if it's a publicity stunt, though, it's a little bit irresponsible. Yeah, it is. Like you're endangering the life of your fans and yourself. And because she's a role model. I wouldn't say that now. Yeah, but like the fact that she there is going to be like people that look up to her and stuff and like try to dress like her and try to whatever look like her and do their hair like her, and so like if she's wearing a mesh mask, there are people out there that will now just buy mesh masks. I don't think you can buy mesh masks. I don't let's hope no one starts bringing out mesh masks. You can definitely probably buy them from fucking China.
Okay, racist. But like, imagine that.
Like those, like, there's Chinese websites that sell a whole lot of like fake crap.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay, but like, yeah, imagine maybe for like Halloween, people might dress up Lana Del Rey with like a mesh mask. Be kind of funny. Obviously, they should then like not be within 2 meters of anybody else and like keep social distance, and probably shouldn't be at parties anyway. Should probably just lock ourselves away for a few months in dark cupboards.
Yeah, so it turns out, I just googled it. It turns out you can actually buy mesh masks.
Okay, well, obviously she didn't make it herself. Then she actually just went online and found it and said, "Well, if it's not for sale, then."
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's
Oh,
like,
they're created as anti-masks.
yeah.
So that you can't be stopped going in places because you're technically wearing a face covering.
But if you're going to go to that hassle, would you not just wear a face mask?
Yeah.
Well, surely that's more uncomfortable than an actual face mask.
Yeah, like, that's just nonsense.
Yeah, like it's crazy. And it's also the end of our show. We managed to get to an hour exactly. Usually we'd be going way over. So it's actually nice just to end it on an hour. Lana Del Rey is a crazy bitch. We'll be back next Thursday.
Good luck.
Good luck with that. Check us out on all social medias. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the show. So pass is a good word. Or if you think it was bad, pass is a bad word. You say, you know, that really shit show. Say that to them. But just tell your friends. Just spread the word, please.
It's so bad it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's just good. But we'll be back next Thursday with another Shite Talk podcast show. Talk to you then.
See you later.
Shut up and sit down.